Before I go out and rake hay, I'm going to change the oil in my Jubilee, and what I wanted to do was just take it from that old cartridge type filter to one of these spin-on filters, and this is, it's an Agra filter, Spare X, but the Ford FL1A is probably one that you're familiar with if you've ever had Fords. It was like the universal filter that they put on everything. And I got this little Spare X oil filter adapter kit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the old cartridge type filter canister off, throw that out. So what we're going to do is going to take that old cartridge type canister off, put it somewhere. I'm not going to throw it out, but I'll keep the canister, but throw the cartridge out, obviously. I'm going to put this adapter on, and I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. And this will actually make your life a lot simpler, because instead of having to try to go get, a specific Ford cartridge filter, which, the auto parts store may or may not have, you can just go to Walmart and grab one of these FL1A filters off the shelf and do the same thing. So if you've never changed the oil in a Ford before, if you've never changed the oil in your Ford before, there's a lot of plugs underneath, so they all have different functions. One's for the engine, one's for the transmission, one for the rear end. And it's about the one on the oil pan right here, which is directly below the engine. And I think it's about 1 1/16 inches. It's a square plug, so you could get in there with a crescent wrench, but if you've got the right size tool for the job, crescent wrenches tend to be sloppy. I'm not saying I don't use crescent wrenches. I'm just saying if you got the right tool, the right wrench, it's better. You are going to get a little dirty for this, and if you've got gloves, that was a plus. I don't always remember. I try to remember, but not always. And that was changed last year, believe it or not. This tractor had sat for a long time. In pieces, and it was reassembled and new oil put in, and it's hard to believe that was brand new oil last year, but that is black as soot. So while that's draining, we're going to get this canister off, and like I said, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm probably never going to use it again, but I'm not going to toss it. So we'll take this off, and I'll just set it in some kerosene to clean it. We'll throw the cartridge out, obviously. Then I'm going to show you how to get that adapter plate on there next. So while I'm doing the rest of this service, I'm just going to take the canister off. I'm going to leave the drain plug off on the bottom. That way it'll just keep draining while I do this. This is a 3/4 inch bolt on here, so we're going to use 3/4 inch and take that bolt right out. So we're going to keep the case for the filter, and we have to keep this bolt obviously with it. So like I said, I'm just going to soak them in some kerosene and put them in a bag and throw it on the shelf. Like, I probably will never use it, but it'll be here if I want it. Maybe somebody needs one someday. Just seems a terrible thing to throw away. So you can see it had this old cartridge type filter, and you can still buy these, but the whole point of this is to not have to get a specialty part, and your auto parts store may or may not have that particular cartridge. Obviously, they have speedy dry for. When you look at this, you're going to see there's a filter gasket, and you're going to replace this part. So I'm just going to clean that up a little bit around there. Now, it's not going to fit on as is. So we've got to make a little modification, which is, it's really simple to do. But I want you to pay attention right now to this nut right here, and the shoulder on it's probably 1/4 inch, so it's not very big. What you don't want to do is you don't want to round that off. That'll be difficult to get out if we do that, so we're going to be real careful. But it's 1 inch and 1/4. I've already pre-measured my tools, so we want to make sure we get that on flush, and then we're going to spin that off. You want to be real careful with this. All right, it was a tiny bit stressful. This is 1 1/4 inch. You can see this right here. You can see that adapter, and what this did, it was allowed me to put the canister on. It's going to show you how that went. So this is your bolt inside the filter, and this is the spin-on part on side of the block. So this had been in there since it was new, and trying to get that off with a regular ratchet wasn't super easy. So I cheated. I used an impact gun, and I didn't want to do it on camera because the camera was in my way, but I used an impact gun and very carefully got this out. I was not able to successfully get this out by Armstrong. So just keep in mind that if you do this, be super careful, because you want to make sure you use the right size socket for one, and you don't want to round those shoulders off or you're really screwed. But this is going to be cranked in there probably pretty hard. Just FYI on that. Next thing I want to do is I just want to make sure I wipe this all down and pull this tin off. So this plate right here is going to go with the old canister. I'll put the part number and everything up on the screen so you can see what it is. And it's going to come with this new gasket for starters. So we're going to put the gasket on first. There's that. And the way I'm going to put that on is I'm going to use a little bit of grease. So there's a little bit of grease on my finger. I'm just going to go around that groove where it sits and make sure that's got some grease on it. And the purpose of the grease is just to make the gasket stick, and also the grease will help prevent a leak around that gasket because we don't want that. So once that's on, like I said, you're not greasing, a fitting. You're just putting a film on there. And the next thing we'll do is we'll take this new gasket and we'll set that on up in here and just kind of trace it around with your fingers to get that to seat. You don't want any bulges. You don't want a slip disc. So once that's seated in there, we'll just go around one time with a finger to make sure that it's all sitting flush. And if you put pressure on it, I just want you to know, if you put pressure on it while you're going, you're going to pop the gasket off. You're going to stretch it, and what'll happen is it'll just pop off again, like what just happened to me. So just kind of put it in, and then when you run your finger around it, don't put any pressure on it, just kind of feel it, okay? And then once we do that, we're going to put a little bit more grease on this side. This is what your oil filter adapter is going to sit on, so this is never going to come off again, but we don't want the point of failure to be something that's not really super easy to get to. And we don't want to get dirt or anything in there, so be careful when you do this that you don't get dirt. We don't want to introduce stuff. So we've greased both sides of it, and it's stuck on there pretty decent now. And what is going to happen is you're going to get this kit. It says on the front, it says install with slot on top. And it doesn't really show you exactly how it goes, whether it goes this way or this way, but it goes this way. So I'm not gonna lie, when I do something what I consider a little sketchy, like taking an impact tool or an impact wrench or something like that, I get a little antsy because it feels a little sus. So this is only gonna go on one way, and it shows you on the front. It shows you to put the slot up, and you look at this and go, okay, which way does it go? Well, it goes the bulge out like this, and it's not gonna just sit on there. So when you put it on, and be careful you don't take the gasket off again. So there's the slot, and make sure the slot goes up on the top like that. So the slot's up, and then this new adapter right here is going to have the wide part, which goes back into the block, and then the narrow part of the neck, which is going to accept the filter that you're going to spin on it. And also this wider nut that my fingers are on right now is the same 1.25 inch as the one I just took off. So make sure you are careful when you put this in. Make sure you don't cross-thread it in the block. You really don't want to cross-thread cast iron. That would be a bad thing. So put that on, and then I'll grab my wrench again. We're not gonna gorilla this on with the torque wrench, obviously. So we're not gonna gorilla this back on with the impact wrench. We're gonna use regular socket wrench, and we're just going to make sure that we put this on tight. Again, it's still got that thin shoulder on it, so be super careful when you do this. And then you say, how tight should I make it? Well, just a little bit past, just enough. What we don't want to do is like bust something here, so we're just going to go until it feels okay. So that's about as tight as I can get it without really hammering on it. Once it gets like that, that's tight enough. We don't want to gorilla on it. I'm pretty sure that would be a mistake. I'll show you this filter. It's agri filter. Here it is. So it just looks like regular old Ford FL1A, and Napa will have the equivalent. There's a whole bunch of them. I like the Ford name on a Ford tractor. So after this initial time here, I'm going to put regular Ford filters on it, so it'll look a little bit more cool in my mind. And next thing I want to do here is, so today's June 7, and this has a spot where you can write on it. So I'm just going to it shows you for hours, and I just put a new proof meter on it, and for some reason the proof meter's not working. So anyway, even if it was working, the hours wouldn't be right. So I'm just going to go by date. So today is 6/7/26. And then the next thing we'll do is, I'm using Rotella 30 weight. Some people will use different grades of oil, and we'll save that debate for a different day. But I'm going to put 30 weight back in it. Just plain old SAE 30. I'm just going to say, if you're going to use a multi-grade, make sure you, for one thing, keep an eye on your engine oil pressure, and you might want to change your oil a little bit more frequently the first couple of times, because that detergent goes through and it might break something loose, some crud that's been sitting there for a long time. That's the whole argument behind this, is when you use detergent on a tractor that's had only 30 weight oil used in it for its entire life. If you put detergent in there, there's a possibility it'll break some crud loose and then jam the oil pump or something catastrophic and fry the motor. So you really want to keep an eye on your engine oil pressure gauge, and if you see something go fluey, shut the tractor off immediately. And also, it may be behoove of you to change the oil a couple of times after you do it. So whichever you prefer. A lot of people, there's arguments for both. So I always spin it backwards first and then on. And this is a little bit of a gorilla. So we're going to spin it on as tight as I can get it, like this. And then try to go as far as you can go manually without... See what happens is if you crank this too tight, you can compress the gasket and cause a leak. Also, it'll tighten itself up naturally by running it. So if you put this on with a wrench, it's going to be twice as hard to get it off with a wrench. So just, as far as you can get it without horsing on it too much. And the oil fill is on the other side, so we'll go there. Some of you may be like, hey, stop being a dummy, use current oil. The manual was written in 1953. That was 73 years ago. Stuff's changed. We don't use 30 weight anymore. That's fine. If you were insistent on not using, straight 30 weight oil, what I would recommend that you put in is 1540. This is a diesel engine, heavy duty. This is a heavy duty diesel engine rated oil. So this would work fine in this tractor. So if you don't want to use SAE 30 and you want to use the multi-grade, the oil I would personally put in is 15W40. So right here is your oil fill. This also has a breather on it. I bought a brand new one when I refreshed this tractor. You may already have one on there. There's a little screen in here that you should check when you change the oil, especially if you didn't buy a new breather. There's a little wing nut here that comes off, and you pop this, and then you can see here there's this element inside. You can buy just that part. But I bought the whole thing. The other one was pretty crummy. And I will say, even though these parts are new, like these aftermarket parts, the paint on them is pretty meh. And what happens with these aftermarket parts is the paint peels. So you think you're getting something great, but you're not really. And then when you use your filter, you use your funnel. I always put a rag in it to keep the dirt out. But anyway, that's where you're going to fill it. And then you've got a dipstick. You know what you are? You're a dipstick. Right here. So this holds 5 quarts. And so you're going to need obviously more than a gallon. So we're going to start with this one. I'm going to go ahead and fill this up off camera, and then we'll take a look at the dipstick and we'll fire it up and see how it goes and check for leaks. So I usually store my funnel with a rag in it. That way it keeps the dirt out. And so we're going to go ahead and add oil back to this. Remember when you first start this, that what's going to happen, it's going to be an instant while that oil filter fills up. So that's going to make the level of the oil drop down a little bit. So you may feel like, I didn't put enough oil in it, but that's why we're going to check it again. So what I want to show you here is looking at this dipstick. You can see, I don't know how good it's showing up on camera here, but it's right in the safe zone. So here's low, here's high, and it's spot in the middle. So it's perfectly the right amount. But I haven't started the tractor up yet, so that's going to go down once I fire it up because oil is going to go into the filter. So what we'll do is we'll do that. We'll fire it up real quick, take a look at the oil pressure, shut it off, and check the oil again. So unless somebody's monkeyed with your tractor, it should not start unless it's a neutral. And I put a new start switch and safety switches on this tractor, so this one will not start. It's got a safety lockout. It won't start unless it's a neutral. So I've got the wheel chock just because I don't want to roll. Switch on, a little bit of throttle. That's there. We're gonna pull the choke out. Let's see if she goes.
Here, you can see the oil pressure is really good. I'm going to wash around the filter down here, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it off and take a look. We didn't have any leaks. You really want to look for weeps around not only where the filter spins on, but also where that gasket went on that you put against the block. So just be careful of that. And maybe just wiping it wasn't enough in some cases. So if you do see a leak, unfortunately you're going to have to take the filter off, and you may have to take that adapter plate back off again and check your gasket, check it for cleanliness. But really keep an eye for the first few times that you're on it, especially to watch for leaks over there. And you always should be watching your oil pressure gauge anyway. If you see any sudden drop in oil pressure, shut the tractor off immediately. And that's all I got. I hope this helped you out, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.